up, Vinny?
Yo, how's it going?
Pretty well. Monday night, March 31st. Second or first full week of the baseball. How you feeling so far?
Oh, it's been a fun one. It's definitely a Monday. It's all gloomy here, but hopefully we get all the games in this week. There were some rain delays this past week, the first rain delays of the season. So, yeah, it's that time of year though. Tornado season's coming around. Chicago got it pretty bad. I saw they're having trouble keeping the tarps on the field. The wind was so bad. But I don't know if you caught that at all.
Yeah, I did.
But yeah, March 31st, man. April 1st tomorrow. You know what happened in 1998 on March 31st? This should be something you should know. This is completely your guy.
All right. Does it have anything to do with the new franchises in 1998?
It does. It does.
Okay. Is it the Diamondbacks by chance?
No. That is a good guess. Is that when their franchise was developed?
Yeah, Diamondbacks and Devil Rays.
Yeah, there you go. So the Devil Rays.
Okay.
So the first home run in the Devil Rays organization comes from your guy, Wade Boggs.
Yep.
There he is, Mr. Wade Boggs.
Yep.
Look at the stats on the can, too, on the koozie. What's it say?
Oh, see that all right?
1,000. Oh, yeah. 328 batting average, 3,000 hits. Jeez, this guy's a monster.
Guy's a monster. My current Road to the Show series on Wade Boggs.
Yeah, I've been seeing that. Yeah, and if y'all are following the channel, first of all, Luke he's been creating baseball videos for a long time now. He's got nearly 30,000 subscribers. What year did you even start those?
2015.
Yeah, so
I believe
going on 10 years. Yeah.
I think my first highlight video was June 12th-ish of 2015.
Yeah.
I remember my first one. It was Dustin Pedroia career highlights. That was my first.
That's a good first one. Hey, that's a good one to start with. That guy was great to watch.
Yeah,
Red Sox legend. Yeah, so you've been making highlight videos for a long time, and you still are pushing out some every now and then. You haven't a little bit, but I'm sure people would love to see them because I know you're still getting comments on all your videos from the past. And now you're doing some highlights for MLB Road to the Show 2025, which is pretty cool because I have yet to buy a PS5. It's coming soon. The month of April it's going to happen in April. I'm already getting a little antsy with the being able to play high school to college. I think that's pretty cool. Makes it, I don't know, it just makes the game better.
Yeah.
But yeah,
a couple things. So whenever you get one, we'll do maybe a couple home run derby videos or co-op because Vinny and I like to do co-op. It's pretty fun. Yep. And then
I might take you with one of St. Louis's finest, Ryan Howard, in that first derby match.
Yeah.
Lafayette High School graduate, long time Philadelphia Philly.
Absolute
St. Louis
stud.
No, but again, if y'all are still following and y'all have followed Luke from the beginning from the highlight videos and still tuning in, I know he appreciates that a lot. So
yeah,
thank you everyone for that. And let us know about the videos, what y'all think. If they need to be, if y'all have any recommendations, feel free to comment.
Yeah.
But what we'll go ahead and get started with is with the first week of baseball coming back. It's also the first week of fantasy baseball, which is my favorite time of year, along with, watching baseball, of course. But fantasy baseball, it's even better because it involves you in all of the games. Like before I start participating in fantasy baseball, I think I only really tuned into Cardinal games, and then playoff time came around and that was different. But now I'm watching all the games. I got all my players. So kind of keeps you in tune with a little bit what's going on. But last week, man, I thought I had it in the bag. I was pretty much up on everything majority of the week. Pitching, not so much. But my batting was on fire. I can't complain about them. A lot of home runs, a lot of RBIs, decent steals. But my pitching was rough. 32 Ks to his 43 Ks. No quality starts. I did have 3 saves, which was I was happy with that. But he still beat me in that category. He had 4 saves. I had no holds. 5.54 ERA, 1.82 WHIP, and that's using 7 starters, and then plus my relievers. So it was ugly. And I mean, my pitching's my starters alone. I got Cease, King, apparently Ronaldo Lopez. I'm looking at this, just finding this out now. He just went on the IL. Did you
Oh
know that?
no,
What the hell?
no.
I'm just finding this out as I'm looking at it.
You're not having good luck today with the Braves.
Geez,
First
man.
Profar.
Yeah, and I guess we can go ahead and throw that in there too. Jersic Profar, he's suspended for 80 games, violating the PED policy. Gotta love
Your
it. I'm
guy,
sure there'll be an excuse. He is one of my guys as well.
which we were
A good
actually
bat.
kind of thinking about doing a trade.
I should have traded you yesterday. I should
I
have
know.
traded you. Man, but Profar is going to be out at least probably till July, maybe after All
Yeah.
Star break. I don't even know.
Plan on keeping him, I'm
And
sure, still.
I don't know, man. Well, now I got Ronaldo Lopez on the IL, IL 15, so he's going to probably not be back until at least May. It says right now April 26th, but then I'll have to go to his rehab starts. So that's a bummer for the Braves. Bummer for me in fantasy. Damn. If you're interested in him, I'll trade you him for the low. But other than that, another pitcher I have who also got hurt in I think around the 4th or 5th inning was Tomoyuki Sagano, and I was pretty
Yeah.
excited for him. I picked him up pretty recently. He was my last pickup. He was still out there floating around. His numbers from the previous league and the Japanese league was outstanding. He had like a low, or let's see if it was on here. He had a below 2 ERA. I know that, and I think it was like a sub 1 ER or WHIP or something. But yeah, he's also hurt. He's supposed to be back in the rotation. He's supposed to be fine for his next start this week, but he just didn't have a good outing. Logan Webb, him and Sonny Gray were probably the only ones that gave me decent outings, but they both only went 5 innings. Charlie Morton didn't do anything for me. So, I mean, I have some good arms, but they did not come through. My bats, they were coming through for sure. One guy, I'm going to go ahead and just give a standout performance. I could have went with Christian Campbell, and there's no reason not to. He's also having an excellent start to his career with the Red Sox, and he's on my team as well, so I love to see it. But Tyler O'Neill is just a monster. We talked about it on his first opening day. He did set his record going 6 straight years on opening day, hitting a home run. He went 3 for 3 that game, 3 runs, 3 RBIs. And then today he went 4 for 4 with 2 runs and an RBI, and he went 1 for 4 yesterday. And the only game he didn't have a hit was his game 2 against Toronto, but he still had a walk and an RBI. So he's been productive in every single game. I love Tyler O'Neill right now, and I'm hoping that he just stays healthy all season long. But a little bit of a standout player for me this week. But yeah, if I can get my bats going, Christian Campbell, he, like I said, Matt McLean's another one. He just homered again today. Adolis Garcia has been hitting the ball. So, yeah, I don't know. I need Brent Rooker to step it up a little bit. And, I mean, Christian Walker, he hasn't really done too much for me. But overall, I'm still pretty happy. I'm comfortable with my fantasy team. And I don't know. I guess it really comes down to pitching the most. What are your highlights from your games? And I know you got a pretty young team over there. So how did they do their opening week?
So we're pretty much at opposite ends. My pitching was really good. My offense, not so much, other than a couple players. My standout player, as far as hitting goes, was definitely Jazz Chisholm. Hit 3 home runs. We'll kind of get
Yeah.
more into Jazz and all that here in a little bit, but I don't have my stats pulled up in front of me, but I had a under 200 batting average. I did hit 5 home runs, which is pretty cool.
Hmm.
Matt Shaw,
Yeah.
Jazz with three. Trying to remember who hit the other one. Can't remember, but yeah, I had 5 home runs. Oh, Will Smith. That was the other guy, Will Smith. My pitching, other than Roki Sasaki kind of having a shaky start
Yeah.
against the Tigers, I believe. Yeah, the Tigers. Um, my pitching didn't do so bad. The only problem was my opponent. I think he only had 4 starters, and I had like 6 or 7.
Hmm.
And his just happened to do better than my 6 or 7, which my ERA was still around 3, so it was still pretty good. I
Yeah.
did have about 4 saves. That was good. So, and I had 3 quality starts. Was hoping to get an extra one, but we ended up tying in a couple of pitching stats right at the very end. So I ended up
Hmm.
losing this week. I did win in my other league, but the one that's more important, this one, I had like 3, 7, and 3 or 4, something like that. So
No, you got a fun team. I
yeah,
was definitely paying close attention. It's the first game of the season. It was also kind of it's a weird start the first week because you also have those stats from the Dodgers games that
yeah,
get thrown in there. So if you do have any Dodger stars or Cub stars that went off during those series, you're kind of already off to a good start. But then again, the week's shortened when you come back because the season starts in the middle of a week, and at least that's how we do our league. Other leagues may be different, but I don't know. We're on the ESPN league. Maybe it's something that we veer away from in the future, as people seem not to like it as much anymore. At least the people in our league, but they're kind of committed because they've been doing, I think, the same league for 15 years now. So pretty cool. Also, I think I said that last episode. I think I said it was maybe 20 years, but I think it's more along 15 years this fantasy league's been going on. So, um, I'm gonna do the recap right now. If you wanted to do that
yeah.
next. So we're gonna go and talk about our basically our favorite matchup from this past week, and it's hard for me to. I feel like if I pick the teams I went with, I'll say this are the Pirates and the Marlins. Um, and it's hard for me to just pick one game out of that series because I just wanted to kind of group it all into one. I won't go over every single thing that happened in those games, but for two teams that really don't get, I mean, don't expect to be in the playoffs. They're two of the lower end teams of the MLB. Pirates they could be something. I don't really know. I guess the Marlins could be too. They were playoffs 2 years ago. So kind of two weird teams going crazy to start the season. Thursday, the Marlins beat the Pirates 5-4 with a walk off. Bednar, I think we already mentioned that one. Bednar was pitching during that, so it's kind of Bednar is already looking rough, kind of like where he was at last season. And Bednar all of a sudden just could not pitch, and starting off the same way again for him. That Friday, the next game, the Pirates ended up beating them 4-3. We also covered that, and that came down to the late innings as well. Marlins almost came back and won that one. Saturday, the Marlins ended up winning 5-4 with a walk-off in the 12th. And then Sunday, the Marlins win again with the walk-off. So it was a 3 walk-offs during the season, during the series. And I guess if I had to say what the standout game for me was whenever they retired Mr. Marlin, Conine, Mr. Conine retired him. I guess did they retire his jersey? Is that what it was? I know, or did
I
they
think so.
inducted him into the Marlins Hall? Is that what it
Yeah.
was?
Hmm.
Yeah. So it was his Hall of Fame induction day, and Griffin Conine, his son, actually hit his first home run of the season uh, that day to opposite field. So that was pretty cool to see that. His family was all there, and it's such a baseball thing to happen, you know. You gotta
Yeah.
love it. Him hitting a home run. It's like
I
whenever we went to. Go ahead.
sorry, I think it's lagging a little bit, but I think Griffin Conine hit 2 home runs in that game. I thought he
Oh,
did.
did he?
I thought it,
Maybe he did. I may have missed that.
it might have been 2 home runs, which
I know
is
he's
even
been.
cooler actually.
Yeah. Yeah. And for the lag issue, we do. It is getting ready to come in with some storms, I guess, out here. So, uh, it is what it
It
is. We'll get
happens.
through it. No, but that kind of reminded me of me and Luke. It's a pretty funny story, actually. Luke can tell you where he was at during this part, but we went to a Father's Day game back in Busch Stadium the day that Ken Griffey Jr. hit his 500th home run, and it was on Father's Day, and his father was there, Ken Griffey Sr. So him to hit that on Father's Day was really exciting, and I got to watch it. I got to watch it live, and Luke almost did, but where were you during Ken Griffey
uh,
Jr.'s at bat?
right. So my father, I had to use the bathroom. I was a kid. I think this happened in 2005, I believe. So I was 5,
I think so.
little kid. And yeah, I had to use the bathroom. So my dad took me to the bathroom. And when we were in the bathroom, my dad heard all this cheering and everything. And it turned out to be his 500th home run. So I was at the game that he hit his 500th home run. But unfortunately I did not get to see it. My dad did not get to see it either, but you did, so that's pretty
I did.
cool.
I
I
did.
even just still being there as a kid and that at
Yeah,
that
I know.
game
You
is
were
just
there.
yeah, it's
You
cool knowing that.
Yeah, you were there. That was definitely an experience, and it just makes it more of an experience and a funny moment to just the whole
Yeah,
bathroom thing.
that's just
But no, the environment.
out of all times. Yeah,
Yeah, but the environment, especially at Busch Stadium, we cheer anybody in those situations, and the
yeah,
stadium was going crazy. I mean, it was. I remember that, and I was very young as well. You know, I mean, I was maybe 10 to 12 years old, probably closer to 10. I don't remember, but yeah, good times. Um, one other thing I want to mention too. I just want to throw out another big star out there that we've mentioned a lot, and one of your fantasy guys. Since he's on your team, is Roman Anthony. I didn't know if you were gonna bring him up at all, but his opening day, his first game, the other day, I guess it was Friday, Saturday. He was able to hit 2 home runs. So
hmm
I
yeah.
guarantee
Call him
you,
up.
he's gonna be up. If he's not up by May, I'll be surprised. I think all it really takes is probably an injury, especially if an outfielder gets injured. You don't want that. You never wish that. But obviously, if someone does get injured and they're looking for another bat or replacement, he'll be the first one to be up there, I imagine.
Yeah, I agree. I'm really excited. I think I spent $11 on him in the draft, so
Hmm.
not a bad price for Roman Anthony, in my opinion.
It's not, but it's actually it shows you what kind of value he has because he's never played in the majors, and he is the number one ranked overall hitter in baseball right now as far as top 100 prospects in the minors. He's the number one hitter in the minors. He would be the number one prospect in baseball. He's number two, but Roki Sasaki is number one. Your other guy.
Yeah, my other
Um,
guy.
I don't know who Baseball America has. Baseball America may have it flip flopped, or but I know that they did have Roman Anthony as number one for a while. But expect big things from that guy.
Yeah,
Geez, yeah, he's unbelievable. Oh, I have his first Bowman Chrome out of 99 auto. I'm waiting to get graded. It's been so long. I feel like they're just like hanging out with it and cherishing it or
Yeah.
something because it's been too long. But I'm waiting for PSA to send that back. So PSA, if you're listening, just get it back to me in one piece because it's my favorite card. I got a Bubba Chandler out of 50 waiting here too.
Awesome.
Beautiful card. Actually, let me show you.
Let's see this thing.
So another guy, I think he'll probably be up or maybe around the same time as Roman Anthony. I expect him to be up before All-Star break. But that's Bubba Chandler for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And I don't know if you could see this, but this is his future games patch.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a little bit of a glare,
Yeah.
but pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool card out of 50. Man, yeah, he's gonna be legit. And whenever you got Skeens, him, and Jared Jones and Mitch Keller all in there together, I think that's why Paul Skeens got so I won't say emotional, or he's just legit. Like he's straight to the point. Like, hey, look at what we have. You guys got to do something to help us out, and it shows you right there. I mean, with that pitching rotation, even though Jared Jones is hurt, it just shows you that they're struggling really bad against the Marlins. No offense to the Marlins, they got a lot of fun players down there, but their pitching actually isn't bad. You know, Max Meyer, Sandy Alcantara. I forgot who went number 2.
I know they have Yuri Perez.
They still have Yuri Perez, and he's actually supposed to come back late this season. I thought he was going to miss all season because he did get, I believe, Tommy John. But
I know they have Cal Quantrill that they signed. That's another good piece.
Yeah, and I think he's pitching right now. I believe I was just watching the game, and I believe he was down there throwing. But yeah, again, the Red Sox. I guess we're bringing them back up again. Devers. Oof, he's still at it. The other day we talked about he was 0 for 8 with 7 strikeouts. He's not much better. I don't believe he's gotten his first hit yet.
I think he's 0 for 19 now.
It happens. You know, it happens. But ouch. Yeah, he went 0 for 3 today with a walk. So still hitless, Rafael Devers. Brandon, he's in our league. He has Devers, and he irritated me. I was sitting there texting Luke about dropping one of my guys. I'm thinking about dropping Jeremy Pena. Just don't have a lot of room for him. I'm stacked with shortstops, and I really need a backup first baseman. And I was going after Tyler Soderstrom. If you do see Tyler Soderstrom out on there on waivers, you're a fantasy player, pick him up. I'm telling you. Go look at his minor league career stats. Go on Baseball Savant and see what is available so far. That dude's legit, and I'm a little bummed that I missed him. But I'm gonna try to go for Victor Scott because he is on the waivers. You dropped him, and I need that extra speed. So Victor Scott can get me 15 to 20 home runs. That's probably more than I expect from him. But I'll be super happy. But that dude could get like 50 steals. So I need the steals. Sorry about the lag again, but again, this is baseball sloppiest talk show.
It's been a while since we've had some bad lag.
What do you have next for us? It has, yeah. Like I said, there's some pretty severe weather coming in.
All right.
Apparently.
So the game, I guess technically I could throw the whole series in there. One game specifically is sorry Brewers fans, but it is the Brewers Yankees opening series, and this one was pretty ugly. First game, I mean, it wasn't a horrible game. I mean, Yankees won 4-2, I believe. Second game, the game that I'm going to talk about now. Game 3 was Yankees won 12-3. The last 2 games, Brewers had a position player in the pitch. I believe Jake Bowers pitched in both of those games, former Yankee. Second game, the Yankees won 20-9. So the Yankees, I believe, they made 5 errors in this game. So I guess it was good that they scored all those runs, but you still don't want to have sloppy defense. But anyway, 20-9. The Yankees set a franchise record with 9 home runs in this series, which I think I read they were the 3rd team in Major League history to hit 9. I think the 1987 Blue Jays had 10. So I think that's the record, which is just insane to hit 10 home runs. But yeah, the Yankees hit 9. They started off the game off former Yankee Nestor Cortez, of all guys, back-to-back-to-back home runs on 3 consecutive pitches to start the game, which is the first time in the Yankees history that they've done that. And I don't think it's Major League history. I think it's just Yankees. But anyway, Goldie, Bellinger, and Judge hit 3 consecutive home runs on 3 consecutive pitches to start the game. Judge hit 3 home runs that game, almost hit 4. I believe it was that other one was a double. Jazz also homered, my guy. Volpe homered. Austin Wells hit another home run, and Oswald Peraza. They all went deep. Nestor Cortez, he gave up 8 runs on 5 home runs, 5 walks, and just 2 innings pitched. So not a good series. I think the Brewers are now 0-4. I think they lost today. So, I mean, I still think the Brewers are going to get back into it. It's only 4 games, but definitely not a great start. So, do you have any thoughts on this series at all?
Yeah, and speaking on the Brewers, I believe Aaron Savale, believe he's on the Brewers, right? Am I mistaken?
Believe so.
Yeah. Yeah, he just also hit the 15-day IL, and he was one of I believe, their 5th starter. So he's supposed to be out until maybe the end of April. But no, I was watching that game, and I know that they started off with Austin Wells in the leadoff spot.
Yeah.
And then when I saw Goldschmidt, because it was the first game of the day, and I saw Goldschmidt hitting first. I'm like, this is weird. Kind of a Yankees move, but yeah, I mean, Goldschmidt, obviously he can hit the ball, but can he still hit the ball? Like, we know what he used to be able to do. Him hitting leadoff was kind of interesting. And then he comes up, hits that first pitch home run. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll shut up. Whatever works for them. And then, and then another home run by Bellinger, and then Judge comes up, smacks it, and that same inning, Austin Wells hit his home run. So there was 4 home runs in that same inning, which is pretty cool. I think you mentioned that, but yeah, I felt bad for Nestor. I'm like, dude, you got to get that guy out of here. Like, he had to be probably embarrassed on the mound. But shoot, I don't know, man. I guess that can lead us to our next subject of, are the Yankees just great hitters, or does it have anything to do with their new slugging style? Before we go into the Torpedo bats, I believe you have a picture of those, right?
Yeah, so the Torpedo bats that we first saw the Yankees using. So the top one is the Torpedo style barrel, and then the bottom one is a normal bat. So first thing I'll say is that this is perfectly legal. This has been approved by Major League Baseball. I know a lot of people aren't happy, with this. I guess in my opinion, like I said, it's perfectly legal. It kind of goes back to the fundamentals in baseball, kind of like the steroid era. It's like you have to have the fundamentals. I mean, the bat's not going to do anything if you can't hit the baseball. So some of my other thoughts is that, for one, I know Aaron Judge is a no-go for now on these bats. He has stated whatever he said, that what he's doing now is perfectly fine, and I mean, he's right. I mean, we've seen how the good start he's been on. And it's not, I know a lot of people are upset at the Yankees, but it's not just Yankees players right now that are using them. I've seen other guys, Nico Horner, Ryan Jeffers yesterday against the Cardinals, Yandy Diaz Junior Caminero. I think Adley Rutschman was also using it. Now the Yankees do have like 6 or 7 guys using them, but now for one, I think these bats, the one Jazz was using, I don't have a picture of it, but even if I haven't seen it, they look badass in my opinion. So it seems like the barrel I think is just slightly moved down. I guess that's kind of what it is. Now
Yeah.
the bats themselves, Torpedo, um, the Yankees' former uh, analytics supervisor, MIT physicist, which is Aaron Lenhart. I believe I'm saying his name correctly. He's now at the Miami Marlins. I guess he's kind of credited for innovating this bat trend. So I would expect some Miami Marlins to be using this soon. I expect a lot of players to actually be using this soon. I don't know if it was a joke or not. I don't know if it was confirmed, but the Atlanta Braves, after they started off 0-4, I think they put in an order for torpedo barrels, bats. So
I did see that.
I know, yeah, like I said, a lot of people probably don't like this. In my opinion, I just think we need to see more of it. I don't think we've seen enough so far to really see a big trend. I know the Yankees, they hit 15 home runs in the first 3 games, which is a major league record. So, I mean, I guess where people are coming from, it makes sense. But for one, they are playing at Yankee Stadium with a shorter porch. The Yankees have always been good hitters at Yankee Stadium. But those two, I also think that these bats are more going to be used in certain ballparks. Yankee Stadium being one. I could also see Colorado being another good spot for this with higher elevation. This is supposed to be more for
Yeah.
contact hitters. So I expect like the big sluggers to kind of keep doing what they're doing. I don't know. I could be wrong on that. Could see a lot more, but I expect a lot of more contact hitters. Using the short porch, I do think that a lot of these contact hitters could pop a few more home runs. So that's kind of some of my thoughts on it. I know you have some, so I guess we'll hear what you have to say about that.
Yeah, and I think maybe you said this, I might have missed it, but I think Judge actually stuck with his original bats. I don't think he even
Yeah.
used the torpedo bats. So that tells you that tells you, Judge, it's not just you see. I think it made it a little more like you see people kind of getting upset on it. There was the guy from the Brewers that had something to say
Yeah.
on it. But Judge has used the same bat he used last year. He's not using the torpedo bat. So I think Judge hitting so many home runs this series kind of made it people get a little more like, oh, the Yankees are finding a way to cheat just because. But Judge just puts a bigger dent on everything. So it's I'm totally cool with it. But before the torpedo bat started getting a lot of attention, I did read that, which I have it right here, the Louisville Slugger is no longer the official bat of the major leagues after almost 30 years, which is pretty crazy. So so as long as I've been alive, almost as long as I've been alive, the Louisville has always been the main bat distributor for the major leagues, and it looks like now Marucci is, and they make the Marucci and Victus bats. So. Kind of interesting. Kind of, I don't know. I feel like I got a Louisville Slugger right behind me, so a couple of them. I don't know you said they used them last year too, so. Yeah, I don't have any negative thoughts on it. I think it's interesting, and I think because the Yankees hit so many home runs, people are like, "Oh wow, this must be why they're hitting home runs." But I don't think that's exactly the reason. I just think it helps them. Like you said, it's for contact, so you're just moving the barrel. And one injury though, I did want to bring up is because I forgot to mention this one as well, is Colt Cowser hitting the 10-day IL with the left thumb fracture. So I was kind of wondering if this maybe what does it take to get up Kobe Mayo? His first at bat of AAA was a home run. He's already proven himself down down in the minors. I would rather have him at third base than what is it, Arias, I believe, is over at third base.
Arias, is
Ramon
that who you
Arias.
mean? Yeah.
Arias, yeah. Um, I feel bad for Kobe Mayo at this point. I don't know if he. I know that Colton Cowser is going to be out, but I haven't heard who they're bringing up. I at this point I doubt they're going to bring up Kobe Mayo. All the other guys that were stuck down there, they've already traded away, like Connor Norby and Kyle Stowers, or they're up now. Finally Jackson Holiday and Kierstead, which Kierstead still isn't getting a lot of playing time. I think he's only had like a few at bats, maybe 3. So bummer for them. I know Gavin Henderson is getting all healthy down and getting his reps in. But any thoughts on the Orioles?
Not much. I just kind of like you said, kind of feel bad for Kobe Mayo,
Yeah.
and both and Heston Kjerstad. I
Yeah.
mean, kind of just want to see what they can do, And then if you have either of those guys in fantasy, I mean, you want to see them up, obviously too. But
Yeah.
I want to see what Kobe Mayo has for the major league level. So that's kind of my thoughts on it.
Yeah. I think he's completely ready. And in any other organization, he'd probably be a starter in at least half the other teams out there. But moving on, what'd you have next for us?
Did you have any other topics?
No, I am just gonna shout out the Cardinals real quick. We're off to a hot start, 3-0 to start the season. First time in a little while. I can't remember the last seasons, but it's been probably rolling on 5 years or so since we've started off undefeated. I know it's 3 games in, but we've had some help from other teams with the Marlins beating the Pirates pretty well, and Yankees stomping on the Brewers. So good start for our Central League Cardinals. And this week we're gonna take on the Angels. We got Michaelis facing off against Anderson. Liberatore for the Cardinals facing off against Hendricks. Kyle Hendricks. He's out there throwing for the Angels. And then Sonny Gray is back at it for his second start, which went pretty well. His first start, he had 5 innings, and I think he had a 3.6 ERA for his first game. So I remember him letting up a couple runs, but he looked great. And he's going to be facing Yusei Kikuchi on that third game. So hopefully the Cardinals can start they have the opportunity to go 6-0 going into the season. So we'll definitely recap on the Cardinals because they've been really fun to watch. I'm not trying to be biased like we talked about before. I told myself I wouldn't bring up the Cardinals every episode. I will wear their jerseys, but I did want to give a shout out to them and their young players coming through. Victor Scott, he hit a home run the other day. He's been hitting great, stealing bags. Lars Nootbaar is killing it, leading off.
Yep.
He needs to just be there all season. If this lineup stays like this and healthy, they have a good chance. Ivan Herrera is looking good up there. Nolan Gorman hit a home run the other day. He's looking good so far. He doesn't have a starting role at this point, but hope to see his bat moving. Only person struggling right now is Contreras. I don't know if it was from eating the batting grip or if something got stuck in his throat and he's sick or something. But yeah, he's also having a little bit of trouble to hit the ball to start the season. But I think he had this issue last season too. I think Wilson Contreras is somebody that he's so pumped up to play, and I think he's just got so much energy, and he's always showing emotion, and I think he's to start the season, it's always a lot of probably mixed emotions. But I think once he gets settled, he's proven himself completely fine. So no worries on Wilson Contreras for fantasy owners as well. Stick with them because he's going to have that first base and catcher eligibility as well, which is big to have. But that's all I have We'll obviously touch some more. I'm going to recap on that Cardinals and Angels series after it ends later this week.
Yeah, for sure. A couple things that I did want to say is that the first time since 2003 the Cardinals start 3-0, and the last time the Cardinals started 3-0 at home was 2006. And you remember what happened that year?
Oh yeah, heck yeah! I didn't know it was that long ago.
Yeah.
Wow. I was thinking, wow, yeah, that's gotta make you feel good as a Cardinals fan. It makes it a little more interesting to start the season instead of just starting off after the first game. And you're like, oh man. For any of these teams, even the Marlins having 3 walk-off games to start the year. Like, how often does that happen? That's gotta make it fun for fans that are trying to find something. And like I said, and we talked about before, the NL Central is going to be, it's kind of a toss-up right now, in my opinion. I think the Cubs probably have the advantage, but it's anyone's division at this point.
Yeah, and you were asking how many times that's happened, 3 walk-offs for the first 3 wins. 2003 was the last time it happened. Tampa Bay Devil Rays for their first 3 wins, walk-offs. That's pretty cool. And then another thing I wanted to throw out was that the Braves, Atlanta fans, even though the Braves started off 0-4, the last time that happened, they started off 0-4 was 2021. And do you know what happened that year?
That's a championship here.
Yeah, so Cardinals and Braves, I mean, might be fighting in that NLCS. I never know. So, and then
Man,
I wanted to.
Hey, it could be. It very well could be.
Yeah, I mean, never know. And I did want to throw out my crazy MLB stat of the video to end things. I wanted to throw out a White Sox crazy stat. So former players, Paul Konerko and Jermaine Dye. Familiar?
Sorry it lagged there, but
yeah. All right. Paul Konerko and Jermaine Dye on the White Sox.
Again.
Yeah, it's lagging kind of bad. But so Paul Konerko and Jermaine Dye, and back in 2009, do you have any idea what they did?
What's that?
So back in August in a game back in 2009, Paul Konerko and Jermaine Dye both hit their 300th career home runs back to back.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so
that's impressive.
That to my knowledge, that's the only time that has actually happened. Back to back 300 career home runs. So that's kind of a crazy stat for you.
One of a kind.
Yeah,
that is cool
for sure.
2 studs too. Those guys were
awesome for
crazy
the White
to
Sox.
watch. Absolute stars.
All right.
Since you're doing a little bit of the throwback players before we go off, I think we're gonna carry that back on. We did that a couple episodes back, a few episodes back in the beginning, but we'll start bringing back our favorite throwback players of the past, because Paul Konerko and Jermaine Dye, man, those are some names to hear.
Yeah, just kind of.
Luke, I think that's all we have until next time. We're on week 2.
Yeah, hopefully less lag next time too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's all I've got.
All right, well, appreciate everybody.
Yep.
Thank you. 643.
Thank you. Yeah. Peace out.
Peace.